Hello. Okay, so in this video, we're going to go through the difference between what product custom properties are and product options, and basically when and where to use them. So if we go into the Smootify documentation and we go into Webflow project and we go down to here, we'll see here something called product elements. And scrolling down, you will find a section called custom properties. Now, basically, custom properties allow you to add an extra layer of customization to your Shopify products. So your customers can add in things like an engraving message or, for instance, specific dimensions that you need in order to fulfill the order. Okay, so what they don't do is they don't affect the price. So if you want to affect the price, so say for instance, your customer chooses between a color and the color for white is different for the color for black, then we need to use Shopify variants and the product options. Okay, so if we go into the Shopify store, and here I just have a typical product, and you can see here I've got one option there, and you're able to change the price there. So if I was to add another product option, so let's say color, and we'll use that example, we'll just say black and white. And then what I'm able to do is open up the specific variants, and I can edit this to whatever I want. So say, for instance, this one wants to be 45. Okay, and that's how we can affect the price. Now, when you go into the actual store, if those variants are coming through, and it won't be yet because it hasn't synced, but as you can see, if I'm clicking through those different types of variants, the price is changing. Now, let's say we want to start adding in an extra field here that can take an engraving message for our various different products. So the process is really simple. All we need to do is head on over into our Webflow project, into your products page, and what I'm going to do here is just add in a div into the form. So the add to cart form, you can just see it here. And what we will do is just, you don't have to add a div, I'm just doing it for grouping point of view, and then just add in a label and an input. Okay, so we can call this engraving, and then quite easily, all we need to do is just give the field name a value. So we'll call this one engraving, for example. Okay, just hit publish. And when we go back over into our store, we can just refresh that and we'll have our new engraving message. Now, all I need to do here is type in the message. So I can say, for instance, hello, add that to cart. And then you'll see here, we have this engraving hello come straight up. So pretty easy. Now, if we don't want to have that come up into the cart and we want to basically just have it in the back end of our order system, we can just quite easily just go back into here, edit the name, and just put an underscore in front of it. Publish again, and then just head back in. We'll just refresh that. And then if I give it another example, say another one, add that to cart, and you'll see here, we've got an engraving of the original one, hello, but the new one that's just come, it's got nothing there. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Nothing really too difficult, but as you can see by adding that, it's not affecting the price at all. The prices stay the same, and the product options and the variant system is what changes the price. Okay, the last thing to note is if we look at the cart, we can see here we've got engraving in a lowercase. So, and the cool thing about it is all we need to do is if we wanted to change that to display it, but also have it in uppercase on that first letter, and it's quite easy. All we need to do is just go back into our Webflow project, click on the field, and we can just rename that with a capital E. Hit publish again. All right, back into there, refresh the page. And now if we add an engraving, we'll call it uppercase. And hit that, and then we can see here we now have the engraving with a capital E. So yeah. Okay, so now actually for real, one last thing. So we've been using a text field, and the cool thing about this is actually you can use different types of inputs depending on what your requirements are. So if we go into our project again, and if I go in here and I add a select field, let's do a radio button and a checkbox. Okay, so with the radio button, we'll just duplicate that one. First thing first, we'll just give it a group. So we'll call it, I don't know, radio buttons. And this choice will be yes. And if we duplicate it and we give the next one a choice of no, these select fields, we've got select first choice, second choice, and third choice. It's fine for display. And this checkbox will just be a check. Again, you can just name things up as you want. And now they pretty much just configure straight out the box. So if we were to save and publish that, and we just go back into our project, we hit refresh. And now if I was to go in, I'm going to have to put some text there. If I was to go in and I just add in our various different bits and bobs and just check it. If I add to cart, what you'll see is we're getting all of those things coming through. So we've got field, which is there. We've got our engraving text. We've got our radio buttons, which is yes. And we've got the checkbox check. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. Very easy to get that up and running. And yeah, that's the video. So hope you found it useful. Cheers.